I'm having breakfast with Mary Lee. Yo-do-do-do-dee. I'm having breakfast with Mary Lee.
Welcome. Have a seat. Let me just say before we get started that there are times in our lives when we just have to pause and ask, what would Scooby do? This week on the show, a community encourager, a positivity poster, podcaster, and now we can add author. My friend Rich Weller joins me to talk about his new children's book, The Story of Egan and the Encouragement Tree. Before we talk with Rich, let's do the Brain Buster. 1 out of 50 people finds love here. Finds love where? 1 in 50 will find love, is it A, on an airplane, B, at a wedding, or C, at the grocery store? The answer at the end of the show. All righty, sit back, relax, and enjoy some encouraging words. I am honored to have a good friend, Rich Weller, on the podcast this week. Rich wears many hats and carries many titles, including the Duke of Digital Content, the Prince of Positivity, the Master of Marketing, the Earl of Encouragement, premier podcaster with Jay Foreman and Slice of Life, and now awesome author. All those hats fit on one head, Rich Weller. Good to have you, my friend.
Wow, what an introduction, Barry. That's pretty impressive. I don't even know who I am. I want to meet this guy.
Well, I have the honor of knowing this guy. But, for years, Rich, you have always posted such positive content, and you've taken that a step further now with encouraging young folks. Tell us about your new book, The Story of Egan and the Encouragement Tree.
Yes, well, I appreciate the kind words, Barry. It's a nod to my grandfather. He was a great mentor. I think I've shared that story with you, but, I think we all need encouragers in our lives, and they don't have to be those ones who pat you on the back or cheer for you. It's the people who show up every day and show you what you can do, the power inside you, and have you believe in yourself. And that's actually what he did. And I have a kind of a catchphrase that you mentioned, Jay Foreman, that we started off our podcast using. It was called, be brave enough to suck at something new. And, because it can be scary trying something new. And you're nervous. Can you do it? It doesn't matter if you're riding a bike or anything in your life. It's always a concern. And then you find out that you do those things and you achieve them, and you're not even thinking about it. You've put that mental block to the side because maybe you're just enjoying the moment or whatever. So I thought about, hey, let me write a book, because I read a quote one time that says, if you can't find the book you want to buy, write it yourself. So I said, I did. It's a children's book, and it's for ages from 4 to 8. It's heavily illustrated by a wonderful lady out of Seattle, Washington. And she knew exactly what I wanted. So the pictures and the graphics all came out beautiful. I was actually thinking that the story may not hold up to the actual pictures. But it's a good message, I think, and we all know that children are a product of their environment. So if they're in an environment, it doesn't matter what it is, but the more you can encourage them to believe in themselves, I think that carries over in their lives. And I think it's a true story to me, because I never saw myself as somebody who was an encourager, but I always wanted to make people or allow people to believe in themselves, that they could do anything that they wanted to do. They just had to want to do it and believe that they could do it.
Well put. Tell me about Egan and the Encouragement Tree, Rich.
Well, Egan's just a young boy. He's probably 8 years old, and he's learning to ride his bike, and, he's having difficulty riding it. And he gets frustrated, as we all will get frustrated with trying something new. And it's kind of a real life story with me. Is like, you're trying to ride your bike and can't do it. And he figures out he can do it. But the way he figures out he can do it is he finds this tree, and it's an ancient tree, which is a symbol of my grandfather. I always saw him as a big oak. He seemed to always be there, encouraging you, not an individual who always pat you on the back or give you big applause, but he would give you words of encouragement that you could believe in yourself and do it. And then the tree actually gives golden leaves to Egan, and Egan reads these leaves, and he gives these to his friends to encourage them to accomplish the things that they're trying to do.
much like an adult Rich Weller gives us golden leaves every week.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, Barry.
Man, your grandfather would be so proud, so honored.
Well, I hope so. He would be mad at me a lot, too. But he wasn't one that would punish you in a way if you did something wrong. He would actually, and that's part of the encouraging thing, was he would talk with you and explain to you why that wasn't correct. So there's so many different ways to encourage people and show people the right way to do things.
As I said, through the years, you have always posted such positive messages. And I'll bet that you've gotten some feedback from people that said, you know what? I was having a tough day. This is just the medicine I needed. Any particular stories come to mind as far as how your encouragement helped somebody else?
Nothing that I can actually think of right off the top of my head, but, you'll get little snippet messages. Say, thank you so much for that message. Or telling us a story that, that's something that happened to me throughout a day. Because I do like sharing those stories and putting them in a way that people can relate to them and make them think a little differently. Or, they've had a similar experience. So, just kind of acknowledgments. And that's always good that you're doing things right. And it's not so much about entertainment, but making connection. That's what we want.
Connecting, well put. As far as your ability to create social media, how did you learn to do all that with graphics and visuals and movies? I mean, that's impressive stuff that you've put together. How did you learn all that?
Oh, well, thank you, Barry. It's all self-taught. Trial and error. Of course, a lot of people will watch YouTube videos and so forth of how to do things, and you can get some good ideas there. So I just started trying to do it, kind of self-taught. How do you do this and how do you do that? And you trial and error. Just keep at it. Of course, if you look back at some of my old stuff, as far as videos go, it's pretty horrific. But then you look at it now and you go like, oh, much better.
But there again, the message comes back, having the courage to suck at something new.
Exactly. Suck at something new. So you're just like, yeah, I'm sure, the first time you were on the radio, if you ever listen back, if you still have some of those old tapes, you're like, oh, wow, how much a change there is over time. And that's actually the way you live your life. Things that you did one way as you got older, you are much more comfortable, much better at doing them now. And they say, what is it? The magic happens out of your comfort zone.
Yes. Man, I'm writing down all these quotes you're coming up with here.
Yeah, maybe that's my next book.
Coming out of your comfort zone. Now, I want to segue into something that I was going to talk about this week. And the fact that you stepped up and wanted to help, the timing is perfect. Coming up on Monday, July the 21st at Alamo Drafthouse, Chain of Checks is hosting a holiday movie entitled The Holdovers. It's rated R, so anybody under 17 has to have a parent with them. But I'm a big Christmas nut, Rich, and this is a movie that I have never seen, but I'm hearing all kinds of good things about it. And the good folks at Alamo, they helped me select this, and we're hoping to have a nice fundraiser. A portion of ticket sales will go to Chain of Checks. Then you came up with a little idea of what we can do Monday. Oh, the movie, by the way, starts at 6 p.m. on Monday, but between 5 and 6, share the idea you had, Rich, of how to raise more dollars for Chain of Checks.
Yeah, I just sent you a message and say, hey, let's do selfies. And for every selfie that we take at the event, between 5 and 6, I would donate $1 for every selfie. And to be honest with you, Barry, even if people can't attend the movie, I'm willing for them, if they want to step in and get a picture with you, Lisa Herndon, and whoever else is there, I'm still going to cover that. So I know there's a lot of people, the theater can only hold so many people. So if you get overwhelmed with people, your fan base.
You are the Prince of Positivity.
Yeah, so I would say if somebody wants to match me, would they get their photo taken and give us $1? Yeah, let's do it. But for me, it's just a way of giving back. You've done so many great things over the years with this program and many other things. And I just thought, you know what? I do have a little decent following through social media. So I said, let's put it out and try to see if we can get some people to come and lift us up there.
There we go. There we go. Congratulations again, Rich, on your book for children, The Story of Egan and the Encouragement Tree. How do we pick up a copy of the book?
Well, locally, Barry, it's available at Soldenberger's Hardware. And the cost of it, it's $10. And all the copies that are here have been signed and autographed by me, if that's any benefit to anybody. And if they're not local and they're listening to this, they can get it off of Amazon. Unfortunately, those are a little bit more, and they're not signed and autographed. But if somebody was able to come by with one or whatever, I'd be more than happy to do that as well. So Solenberger's Hardware, 832 Berryville Avenue in Winchester. Come by and pick up a copy. Actually, we have a whole bookshelf of local authors.
Excellent, excellent. Well, there again, Solenberger's and promoting local businesses and local folks. And Rich, if people want to follow what you're up to and all your positive messages and so forth, how do they connect?
Oh, they can follow me on Facebook. Just look me up, Rich Weller. There's probably maybe 20 of us in the world. My account is verified. I have a blue check mark next to it, so they can follow me there.
Excellent. Looking forward to seeing you on Monday evening, the 21st at Alamo Draft House, 5 to 6 p.m. Lisa Herndon, the queen of selfies, will be there, and she's got all kinds of neat props for Christmas in July that we can spice up those selfies with. But Rich, thanks for all the positive messages. Keep up the good work, and really looking forward to seeing you Monday. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it, Barry.
All righty, get out your podcast planner. Let's take a look at the week ahead. Monday, the 14th, it's National Mac and Cheese Day. Ranks right up there at the top as far as a comfort food. It's also National Nude Day. So forget doing laundry and take an air bath. History tells us that Benjamin Franklin used to like to take air baths. That's not a picture I want lingering in my head here. Tuesday, the 15th, it's Give Something Away Day. Pay it forward with a cup of coffee for the next person in line. Volunteer someplace. Go through your closet and donate things. The 15th is also National Gummy Worm Day. Or is it Goomy Worm? Well, anyway. Wednesday, the 16th, it's National Hot Dog Day. And whenever I think of hot dogs, I think of my dear friend Dick Nesselrod, old windsock, who told me once that he likes putting peanut butter on his hot dog. And I said, what does that taste like? He says, not very good, but he says the hot dog never falls out of the bun. The 16th is also National AI Day. In 1950, Alan Turing published Computing, Machinery, and Intelligence, and it was 1956 that John McCarthy coined the term artificial intelligence. 1956. Thursday, the 17th, it's National Tattoo Day. Tattoo stems from a Polynesian word that means to tap or to mark. It's also World Emoji Day. Emoji, a Japanese expression for picture word. Friday the 18th, it's National Sour Candy Day, and equal opportunity there because we also have National Caviar Day, so sweet, sour, and salty. On Saturday the 19th, it's International Retainer Day. Some of us still have to wear those at night to keep our bite in line. The 19th is also National Daiquiri Day, a rum-based drink. Sunday the 20th, it's National Moon Day. It was 1969, Apollo 11, landing on the moon, and I can remember staying up in the wee hours with my family to watch, and I remember Walter Cronkite wiping away a tear. Sunday the 20th is also National Fortune Cookie Day, and I know every time this day comes up, I have to share it, because when our kids were small and we would do takeout Chinese, when it would come to the fortune cookie, the kids were too little to read, and they'd hand it and said, "Read it to us, Mommy, what does it say?" And every time she would say, "Oh, it says, you have a wonderful mother." And to this day, my kids are now grown adults, she still makes that reading. Okay, let's see how you did on the Brain Buster. The question was, 1 out of 50 people will find love here. Find love where? Is it A, on an airplane, B, at a wedding, or C, at the grocery store? And the answer is A, on an airplane. Nothing like cozying up to somebody and reading that emergency exit card, right? Thanks so much for joining us at the Breakfast with Barry Lee table. Please share my website, breakfastwithbarrylee.com, with others so they can join us as well. In closing, being that we chatted about encouragement and making a difference with Rich, I leave you with this African proverb that says, if you think you're too small to make a difference, you haven't spent a night with a mosquito. Have a blessed week.